Once upon a time, as in December 17th, 1734, William Floyd arrived to save us all from being sad and basic British people. He grew up in New York, so he was East Coast reppin', but he was also a white bald man and a farmer, so he lost a few cool points for that one. He was the second of 7 kids, so I'm guessing he suffered middle child syndrome, which is probably why he looks so sassy in all of his pictures. At 20, his parents passed away, and he had to take care of their farm, which is probably when all of his hair fell out. He was all up in Suffolk County's church biz, so he was liked a lot. People probably laughed at his jokes, even if they weren't funny. Fast forward a few years. New York was late in the game with the whole rebelling against your mother country idea, so they needed to get to the party before it was too late. William Floyd started attending town meetings until he was called to be part of the First Continental Congress. So there he was, hanging out with mad dudes and sending letters to Britain. After the drama of Britain being mad because we were committing treason and all, he became a state senate. When Britain and U.S. troops started fighting in New York, his wife and kids were all like, no, not today. So they fled to Connecticut and left him in New York to be an angry politician. He signed the Declaration of Independence that year in 1776, representing New York, which was fine and all, but look at that handwriting. It looks like the poor thing had never written his name. It doesn't even look like he knew what letters were. During this time, the Redcoats, who I prefer to call the Rude Coats, used his home as a barrack. Even the Loyalists stole things from his house. So when he brought his kids back home in 1783, he saw that his land was a big dump, so he rebuilt in Long Island. After the war was over, Floyd continued as a Senate and was a representative in the First Congress. He also served as a presidential elector and was a high-rolling general in the New York militia. He and his second wife had 2 kids, and by that time he was only around 35 or 40, but that hair, or lack thereof, made him look 200. He went through a midlife crisis and bought 10,000 acres of land in Rome. Most of the rest of his life he spent developing it, which is kind of sad because that land's probably now home to a pizza takeout place and a tourist-filled H&M. In his 60s he got bored with Long Island, so he built a house in New York, and he lived there with his wife and his kids until he was 68, when he died and ascended to heaven. Just kidding. He died like the rest of us.